Hello, and welcome to this episode of Dear Ficomm. Today we're going to talk about how to come across the right way on video. So we all show up on video really in today's modern world, whether it's a virtual meeting with a client, maybe even a prospect, perhaps with your colleagues. And for many of you, including the person who submitted today's question, you're probably creating videos for content as well. So videos that you record and you send out in emails or on social media, or you're giving a webinar presentation. So we're showing up in video so often in today's digital world. How do you come across the right way? So today's question was submitted by an advisor named Leo, who I actually had the pleasure of working with a couple of years ago. Hi, Leo. I'm really excited to spend a couple of minutes talking through your questions and offering some feedback. If anyone else watching this video wants to submit their own question, you can use the link below or find me on LinkedIn and we can DM about it. Okay, so here is Leo's specific question. I'm going to put it on the screen, but in essence, Leo, I hear you asking about a couple things. I hear you asking about your intention of how you want to show up. I also hear you talking about wanting to change your topics to a little bit more fun, but you're having a hard time with that. What I love in your question is that you are actually saying what would be successful. You're saying the reason you're creating videos is to connect with clients and to drive a couple new clients in across a year of working on your videos. So it's really worth mentioning, and well done, Leo, to knowing why you're doing something. Right? We want to make sure that all of our attention and all of our time is being spent in a way that could drive toward our business goals. Let's get into it. So I have many thoughts that I would love to hit on today. When I watch your video, let's pull it up here. The first opportunity I see in your question is to define your authentic tone. You say, I like to laugh and have fun. I don't want to scare people away or be rushed, but you want to move from serious to fun. Let's choose some words. And what we want to do is name the words that are authentic to you. So we don't want to project and try to be something we're not, or try to force something that doesn't feel like it's working. We want to pause, really sit down and remember our authentic tone. Leo, I know you've done this work before, so look back in your notes of what your authentic tone words are when you asked for feedback from people who know you best. Usually we like to recommend that you have 3 tone words and you repeat them and remind yourself of them always. Because what really works in communication is for us to all show up as ourselves, to not be faking it or forcing something that's not natural, but instead step into what is natural for us. So one word I always think about when I think of you, Leo, is you're very centered or grounded. When I speak with you and I meet with you, I don't expect to have a party, right? Like, I don't think the energy goes up. I actually think you are very grounded as a human. And so leaning into that and owning that space will make your videos increasingly powerful. Now, zest for life is a different thing. When you say, okay, so Carolyn, here are my tone words. I'm very grounded. I'm very considerate. I don't think serious will be a word, right? You might be grounded, considerate, thoughtful. You can be those things, and then we can add a zest of life. So here are your tone words. When we come to zest of life, I actually wonder about 2 things. So for anyone who feels like they want to balance out the vibe of their video and add some spark, or maybe not be so dry or dull in the topics that you have to talk about as a financial advisor, there are a couple things we can do. First off, you can always name your intention in the video. So when you begin your video, you could say, hi, it's Leo. Today we're going to be talking about your taxes, and this can be kind of a boring topic. So I'm going to try to make it fun with a little bit of a story at the start, right? Or it's important to talk about taxes because it's actually part of living your best life. And I love to add a zest for life to anything I talk about, right? So you just specifically say it aloud at the start of a video. It can kind of help frame the conversation and let the person know that you know what you're talking about can feel serious, but the way you see it, Leo, is this can be vibrant. This can add to your life. So just name that, say it in the video itself. The second thing we can do is the tone of the video isn't just what we say or who we are in the video. It can also be the backdrop. So when I look at this backdrop, for instance, it is a little bit more of a serious backdrop. Could we get a piece of art that is very vibrant, that has a zest for life, that is high energy or very bright, and put it in this space so it's a part of your background? That way, even though you're talking about the taxes, the whole vibe of the room is up, is cheerful, is positive, optimistic, zest for life. So those two changes are really going to make a big impact. Naming your intention right off the bat by saying, I know we're talking about taxes, but this is really important for a life filled with joy. So let me tell you how. And then secondly is balancing out some of the visuals behind us to add that upped energy if that's what you're going for. Lastly, Leo, I want to touch on your point that it says, ultimately, what I might be saying is I want to have more fun with these videos. So you're kind of touching on your experience in creating them. And that is super important to get right in order to show up as your best self and with your most vibrant, authentic energy. In order to have a little bit more fun, I would wonder, okay, Leo, how could we make these more fun? How could you make your videos a little bit more fun? How could it be more fun to show up to your video day? When I've posed this question with other people, because this is honestly something I hear a lot with RAs of all different sizes, all different locations and personalities, it's like across the board, it's a human thing. How can we make it a little bit more fun so you look forward to it and you show up as your best self? Sometimes people say, well, maybe I'll just make my favorite coffee and record my video while I'm having my favorite coffee. Or some people say, I'm going to do it first thing in the morning because that's when I'm the most fresh. Or someone said, you know what? I'm going to get out of the office. I'm going to always make my videos walking in a it fit their authentic tone. It fit how they communicate with clients, is like on the go. And so consider, how could it be more fun? Shake it up a bit. Okay, Leo, I'm excited to hear which of these tips you try out, how it works for you, which ones really resonate. And anyone else watching today that would like to submit a question, feel free to do so. We love offering this resource as an open advice column for any RIA working on their organic growth. I look forward to hearing from you and see you in the next one.